actually. It's a two-part, so they're gonna finish it in one day. But making sure that it is so important that you will, because it's advanced. But then again, obviously, we can understand it very easily if you work together. Okay. But I will not leave anybody behind, so don't worry. Ask me a question. Feel free. So you're part of team. Every question is important. Okay. Is that okay, Alina, Paula, Diana?
Yes, it's okay.
I am here. I'm not gonna leave anyone here. Those who needs a little bit, because it's quite difficult for you to concentrate like this. But that's why I'm gonna be very slow. Very slow means the slow that is can be delivered to everybody. So if you have downloaded this, you would have seen something like this that is doing nothing literally.
Please show the screen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Now it should be okay, Mr. Hawk, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So if you have extracted it and put it there, it's a very basic setup. So what we want basically is something like this. Let me give you a preview how you want. So you see this is a completed one, okay? So what we want, we have a bunch of database will be stored here in a database called BookInfo. Okay, this is to give you a preview what you are building, so you know what is going on rather than blindly following me. Okay, you have a BookInfo table where you have a table called book list. I randomly put some data for some books, even though it looks like random data, but they are how the book table originally are stored. So it has a number of columns. This is already created for you. So it's a table that I have taken from some data sources just to use it. Okay, but it is nothing what we did already. So we will be installing it. So if you haven't installed it, do install it. These scripts you can find from here. If you go to your code, click on BookInfo SQL. Can you see it? This in your code? Okay. So first we need to create these. Okay, we need to create these from the beginning. I've given you scripts, so you don't have to write it. But let me delete mine, and I will go to do it together. Okay. So obviously you know how to create a database anyway, but I've decided to why not to see if we can do this together. Maybe I find some bugs, I can just fix them.
Please do the same one again.
Yeah.
Because I did already.
You did this.
Yeah.
So here, if you open BookInfo SQL, you will have a little bit of database here like this.
Yeah.
BookInfo. This is scripts. You can just import this script. So I'm gonna try that first. See if I can import it. Okay. I can do that, but of course that is fine. But I can also do like this. Copy this name. Okay. That will be the database name. So database name. Go to home. Click on home. If you accidentally select anything, we don't have to. That you are on home. Home is a button here. Let me just get my icon. So it will be mouse icon. Where is my mouse icon? Okay. Cursor highlighter. This is a home. This is a refresh. There are other things. So clicked on home. So just make sure that things are here. These are usually operations. Okay. Here I click on database. Here I can manually create the name of it. So I'm just gonna copy that, paste it here. We decided to call it BookInfo. Do not change anything, whatever is there, just leave it. It's not gonna affect anything to us anyway. So just create it first. Is that okay, Alina, Paula? Everybody, shall I create it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking in name. Don't feel like why are you picking on me? It's not like this. I'm just randomly asking names so I get some friends here. I feel lonely, very lonely when I don't see you guys. So that's right.
Moreover, Kasha is not here.
Oh yes, you lost Clara today. Don't. If anyone recording, please do record. If you want to record it, so you can help her. So that's our database, BookInfo. And now this doesn't have any tables. Of course, I can create manually, but I have the scripts rather. I have downloaded the script from sample. There are a lot of data sources like that you can download to play around. Customer data, book data, shopping cart data. People are nice. They create this and give it free in GitHub. So I have this. Now I'm going to create a table. Of course, in the table you can see there are plenty of this field. Don't worry about them very much. It's the very generic data people use for book. One of them is the ID. This is a virture of 15. It was manually created, unlike our ID. Usually we put 1, 2, 3, 4, but they choose a specific ID starting with BK001, BK002. So it's not going to be auto increment. It's going to be normal. It doesn't matter actually very much. It's a varchar of 15. Varchar, that means this is not going to be a number. It's going to be a varchar in this case. And the length of these, there are 15 characters it will allow. Okay. Then you will have a book name which is allowed 50 characters. ISBN number. Anyone know what is the ISBN number? You don't have to explain what is it. But what is it usually when you say ISBN related to book? Have you heard that?
Yeah, I can't remember what the reason for it is.
Okay, I will tell you one thing. Other than our ID, when a book is published, they have an international book number, standard book number. So basically, not within a country. This is targeted for international uniqueness. Okay. So when it goes global, it has a unique ID, just like a credit card number. Okay. Many of the homemade book, published books, local, may not have ISBN number. Like some books in Bangladesh may not have ISBN number because they're written in Bengali and they do not want this to be like a global thing. But most of the internationally publisher, they will have to obtain a unique number from an international organization that maintains this, an ISBN number. Okay, you can also get it created for you, whatsoever it is. It looks like something like this, a big long number, nothing important, but that is unique. So wherever you go, if you put this, it will find out exactly the same book. That's a voucher. Maybe it's a category ID. Maybe yes. Let's see what is this. So I sometimes see data to understand what is this. So it's a category, some sort of category, maybe engineering book, whatever. Then author ID, publish ID, date of publish, published language, which is now default. Don't worry about this thing. This came with it. I don't care. Maybe you can keep it. It doesn't matter. You can delete it. It's not a problem. A number of pages, it's a decimal. It will have 5 digits and 0 digit allow after dot. And then you will have default value 0. You can have integer as well, because you may not have a page called 2.5. Page are always integer. But they kept decimal, I kept it. As I said, I just dumped this data from somewhere. Book price is a decimal. Default value is similar like this. This one doesn't have a default, so make it is like integer. And these, ignore these things. Who cares? Not a problem at the moment for us. We're not doing much on this. So let's grab this thing, and then we are still in BookInfo. Make sure you click on BookInfo. Make sure of that, because it tells me here I have selected that database. So you make sure of that. Otherwise, your database table will be inserted into some other database. While you are here, while you selected this, while it shows here, by clicking it, then you click on SQL. Paste it here nicely, and then of course, if you scroll down a little bit, there is a go button. And if everything goes well, it creates a empty table for us, book list, which is, these are the IDs, and here's the structure of it. Okay, so go ahead and fire this. Let me know if you have done that. Oh, sorry. Let me just install the data as well. So maybe see, hopefully I don't get any error here. Sometimes you get that here as well. So they kindly give us some dummy book. So go there again. I make sure that I select this time. This is the table. So BookInfo is the database name. Book list is the table name. I click. Make sure I click that. It says you are on database BookInfo, and the table is been pointed. I go again SQL and get rid of these. Do need this, paste your insert statement, see if any red line or anything there, maybe not, which is good, and I can then go ahead and fire it up. Now I should, if I click this, I should see this. In some cases, when you create a table, if you don't see it here, don't worry, refresh this, it will be visible. So now I have this kind of books here. So I can, sometimes it's good to look at the data value to understand what this column name is. For example, pub length. Maybe I didn't understand what it means, but when I see this, I can tell, I see these are the languages that was published. I can see this is a number of pages, but not .00. So you can use decimal, which is nice. They use decimal, but then again they said second value is 0, so cannot have a dot, making it like integer. I would have gone with integer anyway. So that's okay. That's a good technique. Price, however, should have some decimal value. Date of publication, which is basically, I believe, a date timestamp. That's the timestamp, just to get the date, input the time. That's okay. Then you have publish ID, which can be linked to a publisher table. Author ID, which can then be linked to an author table. Category ID that can be linked to a category table. So you have these are like, look like they are foreign key, can be used. ISBN number is the international standard book number. That would be there. Then you have a name and a custom ID, a serial number like this. Go ahead and try this to install it. Let me know if you have installed it. Okay, I'm here, no worries. See if you see any problem installing it. Just give me a thumbs up when you're done.
I did already, right? Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Paula did, Julius did, Diana did, Elena did, doing it. Mazdul, how are you? Welcome to Bangladesh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, clear. Welcome to Bangladesh, I said.
Yeah.
Shubrata, are you in Bangladesh as well?
No, I'm just saying it. Welcome to Bangladesh.
Sounds
Can I
like
not
you
say
are
that?
in Bangladesh.
Yeah, of course, I have to tell him like that, don't I?
Okay.
You know, I have to tell him like, you know, I'm welcoming him. How is everything for you?
Like the weather, but since I came in, the weather is not that hot. It's a bit like overcast. The next 2 weeks, it's gonna be like that. It's been raining on and off, not that hot, but it's still like very hot.
Don't forget to visit the Padma Bridge, yeah?
Oh yes, take some pictures, send us.
Yeah. But it's very like too much traffic. You cannot move, not go anywhere. If you go, it's always gone like yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun. It's very colorful. It's quite unusual from UK, so you'll enjoy it.
But I'm enjoying it.
Don't eat out as much as you can. Carry water with you at least.
You know, like how they like hospitality.
Make sure that. Yeah, make sure. Especially water. I think it's the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, let's go and do this together. Can you see the screens and everything okay for your internet speed, everything? Mazdul?
Yeah, I can see it, but I think I missed like first half an hour.
Oh, so no, we haven't done much. We just installed. We just downloaded this bit.
Okay.
You see, we can just download it, and then there is a database table. We just created it. It's in the BookInfo, just like you would do. Take your time, it's fine. Just create this. You know how to create a database, right? Just to copy these and then insert it. I can even give you right away. Can you receive a chat?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna export it, give it to you, so you don't have to do that. But you can download. You must download this first on Wiki 11.
All right.
This one. I think I can also transfer it to you on the chat. Let me try. Let me try this first. Chat. That is, those who missed it anyway, they also can have it. So let me just quickly go. So you don't worry downloading. Hopefully you can receive it from here if I give you. By the time everybody set it up.
That one was still small tabs.
Ajax. Yeah, I sent something in the chat. See if you're receiving. That's the zip file, so you don't have to go to Peldo and download it. I send it to everyone anyway. I'm going to export my database and also send it to you guys.
Yeah, okay.
Just gonna quickly export this. Actually, it's the same thing. I mean, you just run, you just import that to Word. It's the same thing. If I even do that, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, basically. Yeah, it's the same thing. But anyway, I'm gonna give it to you guys. The BookInfo should have this in quick access download. Where is download? Yeah. So that's the BookInfo SQL. You just import it, Mazdul. You just import it, it will be fine. If you open your HTML and just go to import and run it here on this. On this, like this.
Okay.
We're gonna build step by step together. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit of preview how it's look like while you guys do this setup. It's I have number of books as you can see here, book list A to Z, and as I start typing them, if I press A, it's gonna search my database, match all the names that matches with A. Now I have two books fall under A: Advanced 3D Graphics and Anatomy of Philosophy. Sorry, sociology. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. So let's do this. Another one, maybe B. I'm not sure I have B. Oh, I don't have any book on B. So it's not gonna say there is nothing on B. K, maybe L. No, K. No, human anatomy. Yeah, that's the one. Just randomly trying things, seeing if I have any books on that names. X, G. Yeah, I have a G. So if you keep typing them, it's gonna, without refresh, it's gonna take your character on key paste from here. Using Ajax is gonna send it to the database all the way PHP with the like keyword. And if it returns any rows, it's gonna immediately send it, and we're going to just update our view with that. Now I have two of them with starting with A. Now, second character for one is D, one N. So if I just press N, is going to then obviously filter further because this one is more candidate. So this way you can actually produce a suggestion. You can produce a live search. This can be applied to so many different things to help assist your user, guide your user. Of course, when I remove it, it's going to be like this. But if I do search something that doesn't, it's going to also update me. As I go all the way back, it says data will be loaded here. So the whole thing will be dynamic. Of course, you could do a lot more things with it. You could pre-populate them with the tables that you can search it. What do I mean by that? Let me show you one of the examples that I gave you earlier. Is the CRUD operation. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So where else you can use this? Those who are making your admin section, either you may have products, you may have services, you may have users, so many things you may have. You can use this in order to produce, to search. You can have a pagination like this, like me, and split them by 10, maybe, or you can put them all in. I wouldn't suggest to put all the data in one page, rather use the pagination technique that I showed you earlier. And you can just go next batch of the data like this. Of course, here the same thing I'm using here. I'm searching the product. So if I just say P, for example, because I said product P, product name, which is pad. So it's going to show me all the pages. This way helps you to identify quickly data. And if you look at this, if I remove it, see, I have pad. But what about the desktop or laptop? Let's do laptop. I don't have laptop here, but I should have laptop somewhere in the second page. Last 3 rows are laptop. So when I'm page 1, here you do not see laptop, but will it bring it? If I say laptop, as you can see, it can bring it. This way, even if you have 20,000 data spread over different pages, you should be able to check all of them and filter out things that matches with them, and then makes your life easier rather than clicking next to find. Or you could create a manual search here, search for item and search it, and it goes all the way back, searches the matching product, bring over here. But this is much more intuitive, isn't it? This way your user gets a little bit of help. At the moment I'm only searching by product name, but you can search almost by any of this column. Category name, description, doesn't matter. You just have to put and multiple options there. Okay. Sorry, not all. Or. Okay. But this condition is just select all from this where name matches with the like keyword. So here, if I say laptop, I can just reduce it, and then I can just select all of them like this, or individual item, and I can do my operation here rather than going all the way back and forward. So things like this can be done, but these are much more complex, way more complex, because you have checkboxes. So there are multiple features. You have this edit, you have the delete operation. So of course you're not going to do all together or something, but the most foundation for this in me to type something and then update this view basically is the same what I'm about to teach you. Okay, technique is changed. All I did, I pre-populated here the tables. In that case, I did not pre-populate anything. It's only being searched when you type on key press. There's one significant difference. Second difference is, of course, when you type something and then it doesn't find, is obviously it tells you this, which I already have here. So if you type something not finding that, it's going to tell you. And when I reach to the all the way back by pressing backspace, it's going to bring me data will be loaded here, or predefined messages that you want to show. Then of course it also have things like other functionality added to it, such as a checkbox which allow you to select all and do a bulk operations, things like this. Of course, as I said to you, it can go on. But the foundation for us to understand how can I do a live search. So you can think like, okay, this is the main thing. Later on we can lay it down. Then you can add this element dynamically. So every time I'm actually typing something, let's say laptop, as you can see, the L was taken from there, send it to database, search the table, and it was found only 3 item matches that. So it overwrites whatever on the view without page refresh. All this thing happening without the page refresh, saving a lot of data. So what is happening, the table you're seeing when it was in the initial state is different than when I started typing. After typing, what the table you're seeing in front of your eyes, it was actually generated fresh. Take the L, search the database, grab all 3 or 4 items as a row, update this table. It's all happening in Ajax, so we can save a lot of traffic going up and down. And also is quite user friendly. User doesn't have to wait 100 hours. Once the data is loaded, it shouldn't be a problem. And you can also manipulate things from a large amount of data, just like this. You can do a bulk operation such as this. If you would like to, if you do things like this, a lot of things can be done. So this is one thing. You can go ahead and think of like this later on. So you can do one single thing. You can say bulk operation, then inactive maybe. I hope it works. Yeah, inactive. Things like this. And you can also add this edit and then also delete operation. Okay. So on this, first we need to understand the core of it, how we do this. I hope you all have now got an idea what we are going to build. Is it okay? Did you see all the whole thing?
Yes.
So yeah, that gives us a little bit of idea. Okay. So I hope that by now you all have the book list. Mazdul, let me know if you need more time or anybody needs any time. Once you have that, go ahead and open this with code editor. So thus I'm done with my book SQL. Here I'm going to start. I have 3 files that I'm going to work on. Index, you don't even have to touch anything here. It's been done for you. Okay. Then I have scripts there, which is empty currently. This is where we're going to use our Ajax, hopefully, to grab the data. And then send it to process PHP, which is currently empty. Okay, so your scripts is empty, your process is empty, but you have a database and index file. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So the first thing we want, when you transfer data from HTML page, which is or index for Ajax, where do you send the data first? Do you think? Which script should be next? Is it a script.js or process.js PHP? Remember, it's Ajax JavaScript. Any guess which file I should be working now?
JavaScript.
Of course, sure. Because from here, data will be, usually you can communicate directly to them. Because I'll be using Ajax, you must communicate from here to here, here, then to here. And then the communicates then from here to your database. So let me show you a little bit of drawing, how it works for Ajax, okay? Because it's all happening in the background, the disturbing, blocking the views asynchronously. One of the power of JavaScript, that asynchronous. So basically I will have things like this. Let me just quickly insert some drawing, quickly some shape for everybody to know that how these things are going on. Sequentially, I'm going to do it. And then of course I need a little bit of insert shapes, looking for some specific face. Yeah, that's my database. Okay, let's do this. Okay, that's going to be my script JS. This is where we're gonna keep our Ajax. Okay. Then come process.php, and then obviously the data communication that take place is like this. So you'll have this guy communicating with this, a sequential communication here, and then of course you will have this guy just a little bit here maybe. This guy goes to DB as your table, and then it fetches the data, bring it back. Let's see what it is. And so it communicates from here to database. Database then replies things back. Then you do like this. This replies back to database. Then I do like this. Here. Maybe this. This here. Okay. Does it make sense? Any? How the Ajax works?
Yeah. Yeah.
So index communicates with JavaScript, and then JavaScript passes the data to your server side. Server side then have the capacity to talk to your MySQL database, and the MySQL responds back to PHP. PHP then updates the scripts then update the view. So this is our view basically. Sometimes we call this the page or a view page, or sometimes we also call it user interface. Okay, people say different thing. This is where the scripts goes on, which is loaded in the bottom of this file, and then you have the server side. This is what happens here. You need the server side because that's only can communicate at the moment with the database. This is our MySQL database. Okay. So this is a communication happen with Ajax versus traditional. Okay. So it will make sense if I just do this. Not landscape I was talking about. That if I do like a little bit of, let me show you, traditional versus Ajax or rich application development or asynchronous, whatsoever you call, Node.js and all these things does the same thing. So that's one thing. That's your Ajax here. That's probably normal. This case we eliminate this guy. We basically eliminate this guy if we don't want to use JavaScript. Or we use this with the page refresh. So this is your traditional login registration you saw. They are like this. You have a view. This is a traditional method. This is a traditional method. This is Ajax. No, don't like that one. Okay, this one. That's your Ajax way, and that's your traditional whatever that is. Is it okay? Can you see this now? Can you understand this too?
Yeah.
So this is what we've been doing. Our login, registration, and everything. We are doing this. Sometimes we even can eliminate this by adding the PHP on the one single page. You saw in login and registration. I didn't create a login process or registration process separately because when there are too much PHP, but which I did for contact process because we have this contact big form and then emails and a lot of things. That case, based on the context and the power and the complexity, code separation is always a good idea. That case, so you don't want a lot of HTML GUI code, or sometimes you call GUI basically. That's better. Graphical user interface. This is the only one has the graphical user. Okay. Now this is a traditionally when you submit thing, processor file does that. You can have combined them at one, not a problem. As code goes bigger for processor, you usually separate them into this. Of course, in between, you must have noticed that I have also another small file. Usually worked for me. This is what I did when I did. Can anyone guess what file was that? I did have another file here in between. For the tradition. No. Think about it. I had one more file. Can anyone guess? You've been using it a lot. I just changed a little bit different in my case. There was another file in here. Index file or product file sometime. If you can guess. You must have seen this file many times. And throughout we have this in PC Globe, we had this in different cases.
Config?
Yeah, who's that?
Yay! Config medal for me.
Yeah, config.
Burrito chocolate, please.
Yes, well done. Config is there, but there is another file other than config. She's a config, of course. There I haven't forgot about config, but what about a specific file you saw that contained a lot of functions? Come on, Hawk, you should be able to tell me.
Yeah, it's a data model.
These techniques came from it called MVC techniques. Usually people create them. So this is a model, a data model file. The only objective of this to combine all these database related functions. There's the job for it. You don't have to do it, but it's a very good thing. So you can then objective of this to combine to keep all database related functions or methods. Yeah, we'll make it a little bigger. Don't worry, coming. Okay, all database. What did I miss? They miss related one extra A. So this is usually sometime it's not needed. This extra bit is a very good code organizing technique. So you can always use those functions, then scatter them all over the place in different process. As you go in a larger scale of application development, these techniques works much better, and all of your co-colleague and developer can work together, knowing that all the function belongs to different function pages are packed into one file. Even if it is 100 of different functions, don't worry, it's not going to overload you or anything. It's only going to execute the function it's been called. So no, it's not going to load any pressure. But the good news is anytime you can use the data, just shipping means transfer, like shipyard or shift, however you like to call it, to another project. You have all those basic functions. With the slice changes in table name, you can achieve them. So data model is a concept called MVC. In this case, this is the view. This is called model. Okay, data model MVC concept. refinement of this. And now we go for our PC Globe. We did this model a lot. So we are very close to somewhere because we know we will have many functions, like a framework. We almost designed it as a framework. Of course, as someone just said, who said that config file is there as well? So you'll have a config as well. Was it Paula or Diana said config is there as well, which is a constant file, to be honest. Config.php. Now this is a constant. That means it doesn't change much since you have added. So it's gonna be always there like this. This is also works to bring the first connectivity with your other files. This will be loaded. So because it's a constant, it's only have credentials and few other functions that can be loaded to for many reasons. But actually, config is not a part of MVC. This is the part, though you will have that. But when you describe a framework, this has different ways people do this. Some people put them in a header, some people do this loading separately. So that's not a part of MVC. MVC part is the model and view. This is the MV model we are using, is this. You can put the config in header as well, not a problem. But it is also one good point you made. It has it. It is also connected to database. But with the Ajax, on the other hand, that we have, the Ajax function that we have is different. It's always going to be this technique. So is it clear now?
Yes.
So great news. So let's go ahead and minimize this. If you need this, I can give you the chat if you want, or I just leave it there. The rest leave it. So here is the thing. So first thing we want to add is scripts. Okay, that's the first thing. So open up your scripts file. Okay, the first thing you do, open up your scripts and you'll see a space here like this. Make sure you try to keep the indentation. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about indentation. You see, if you have a nice indenter, you can always use the rainbow one that I'm using. It's called rainbow indenter. Okay, but you don't have it. Gives you a tab. When you move, press your tab key, it gives you the next tab available. The distance it should maintain. Now this is extremely important sometimes for modern way to do this is because that way you can fold like this. Saves a lot of time. It's also, if you break something, pair them up. Another very good practice to make sure that you write some ending comments so you don't get lost in this. So this is called rainbow indent, rainbow. You can install it. And the first part of any wrapper function, which is this is a wrapping paper for your gift, is always indented usually in the close to your borderline. And then you make sure you have placed your cursor on the borderline. Press the tab key every time you start another section. A cascaded system. Okay, don't write it in the top beginning as well. So it makes life easier. So the first thing I want to do, I want to get the focus. So let's see what happened. What is the focus? So you can see if I refresh it, I can see a focus here. Can you see? So if I refresh it, this is empty. I haven't written one single line of code yet. Okay, but by default, it is taking my focus there. So why this is causing? Let's have a look. Focus means the cursor is blinking. Can you see that, guys?
Yes.
You see, because of that guy. This little help actually very good when you do multiple entries. User need to bring their mouse, click it there in order to type something. So why not when an application loads, you bring the autofocus. You can do that in an index page on that particular thing called autofocus as a HTML5 feature. If I didn't have that, however, if I refresh it, can you see any blinking cursor anywhere, guys?
No.
Nope, I have to bring my mouse, click here in order to type. So one step ahead, you're just giving a little bit of assistive technology and accessibility feature also for blind, colorblind, and the elderly sometimes couldn't see the blinking cursor nowhere. Just like the way I did for this guy as well, for my own aid, and you can see my movement of the mouse. So if I refresh it, you don't see autofocus anywhere. I have to do this extra bit. Now when you do multiple entries like this, you have to always bring the cursor back. So one of the things I wanted to do, bring the focus into one of those fields by writing autofocus. So let's get rid of it again, of course, bring it back again and refresh it. Watch what happens. Can you see the cursor by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's blinking. So that's my application is ready to process further. So this little thing. Now let's see if I remove this and I add this to, I want to do that using JavaScript. Remember I removed it. There shouldn't be autofocus. I'm trying to achieve that using JavaScript. So to do this in Java, I go to JavaScript. This is the function, a jQuery function, which only fires when everything is loaded on your page. That's why it's called ready function. Okay, JavaScript will wait till all of the HTML loaded, buttons, forms, then it start executing. Otherwise, JavaScript, if the JavaScript runs before any image or any other content that you're working on that, it will block. It will say, sorry, the item not found, and trigger a tsunami of error. So one of the things to tell the let it DOM content loaded. Okay, this is how we write in jQuery. You have to wait. We can tell to wait. Okay, this is a jQuery, much easier, but the complex one is like this. If you want a vanilla JS, okay, it's called add even listener. So look at these differences. Okay, tell me which one you like. Okay. Oops, sorry. Loaded function. Oh, we are got. Hey, move from there. It's trying to help me. These are the same thing, guys. Pay a few minutes of your time. This is vanilla, normal JavaScript that we do. This is your jQuery. Of course, jQuery makes it really simple to do this. This is one of the best popular JavaScript framework to make things simpler. Okay, we use jQuery also for other reason. Maybe some other browser may not execute this as you expected, Windows Explorer early version, but jQuery function, the built-in function, already had the support for it. So most of the developer wouldn't take a risk always to go with this. They will go with this because their client, they don't want any problem for their client. But it's good to know that we can also do it. If you would have done that with vanilla, maybe E6, when ES6 completely okay, probably you'll go with this anyway. But as you can see, it's quite long writing and stuff. So whatever you do here, alert, it will only alert, hi, I'm ready, when you're ready. Yeah. So that's what it's saying, I'm ready. So I can do that to jQuery, I can do that to manual. If I can put it here, it will do this. But we are not talking about this guy. So objectives to teach you that. So now that here, let's do a focus, because I have removed the focus. Let me click this guy, I don't need this. I have removed the autofocus. So let's see using JavaScript if I can achieve that. So the first thing I do, I press the tab key to organize my thing. And I know I have given an ID for my field. So let's have a look at that one. I have a little input field which has an ID called book and a name called book. So for the JavaScript, we are going to use ID, not the name. If I would have gone with our traditional system, then I would have used the name attributes to collect in the post global variable. Because I am using JavaScript, I will rather use ID if there is one. If not, then the class if there is one. If there is no class, no ID, I would be using input type. HTML to collect it, but I have an ID. It's a good idea to do that if you think you're going to use the JavaScript to do this. Okay, if I would have gone with the traditional view, in this case I would have given main attribute to communicate with PHP, but here I'm going to use the ID attributes. So let's go back, and I've said book, that's it, and a button, and I don't even have a button basically, and a little error message. I didn't do anything to it, leave it there for now. We have error message somewhere, and of course our favorite, this guy, where we will be writing our data. This guy here is the container where I am writing the file data with the ID. This is where I'm going to write the yellow thing here. At the moment it says data will be loaded here. So now that I know I have an ID for the book, we're going to go for a break in 5 minutes, and then I'm going to come back. So ID, let's go ahead and just do the first bit. I'm going to use jQuery selector, which is very easy. You use the hash sign. Let me see if I can find the hash sign. Change it to English to US English. And I think I should be able to find shift. Oh no. 2, 3. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Let me change it back to my English, British English. Here I will have book. Book. That's the ID of the field. I mean this field. Okay, then I'm gonna call focus function. I hope it will work. Is it working, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can either do autofocus and do that. So go ahead and try this out. I will rather keep this both, but I just removed it to check whether this is going to work with JavaScript. It does work. So this is one thing I want, even though I already have that in HTML. But I could just, every time I do this, I want to do it in a ready function, because even though I have that in HTML, in some reason my HTML content reloaded by JavaScript, then I wouldn't have that. So I would rather prefer to do one more here, there, and I'm gonna bring back my autofocus here attributes. So leave it there. So that's one thing I wanted to do. These are very housekeeping thing. So that's one thing I want to do. Okay, few housekeeping thing is ahead I'm doing. So that's one thing I want to do. And I, of course, can you see one more thing with these guys? Yeah. Let me know if you see something red color. Yes. Yeah, but red color wouldn't be nice, would be. It's look odd. The color theory suggests red color should not be inviting. Human mind, blood, and everything. People don't like this to be inviting.
Looks like
color.
an error.
Oh, like an error, exactly. That's the error was. So we need to do something about it on load. That's the thing I need to do. But what is the reason for it? Let me show you what is the reason for it. The reason that it is, every time I am doing, watch this, I'm just going to give you an idea. At the moment, this is fine. This is how I want. So at the moment, if I type something, this is great. But when I say L, as you can see, I have some red color. So this is okay, because I want to say no such book found in database in the red color. Maybe another error in this. Maybe we could change slightly different color, but that's what. But then as soon as you remove everything, it goes back to normal state. So this is what we want. Of course, we need the red color. Now, the switching between A and then L, there is a class responsible for it. It's called error class. If you add this error class to this, any of this object, it will have red color text. If you remove that class, it's in my CSS, I'll show you. Then it will have, so basically I'm switching between them. So at this moment, I removed that red color while I was printing this. Otherwise, these would all be red color. So I need to find a way to add and remove the class dynamically based on the type of data I'm receiving from database. Of course, for this, I don't want to write them red color. And then when I write this, that's kind of a not found. Then I will want to add this dynamic class. But where is this class? So for my current situation here, this is already loaded. So this is already somewhere there. Let's have a look. So I need to investigate a little bit of this. And the place that you saw it here I have added a error class with other class, that's bootstrap class, this bootstrap class, this is a class for a styling, CSS, stuff like this. I have added a red color error class, which gives this a red color. Okay, let's find it. You will find this in a CSS, style CSS, somewhere down below. Can you see this?
Yes.
So this gives two things. Center the text. So it's gonna bring the text in the middle. That's why it's in the middle. As you can see at the moment, it's middle. It's gonna make it red color. It's gonna bring the font bolder. So a few things it does. And we already have preloaded this guy with that error class. That is why you are seeing this color. So I need to find a way to remove this guy on load, so it look like this rather. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So we're going to use it. We're going to add one more line with our JavaScript. And we know the container name. The container has an ID called file data. Okay, this is where we're gonna pin the file, or you can call it anything. So I'm gonna select that guy. Okay, because it's ID, I'm going to I'm gonna borrow this guy from here. I'm going to add a lovely bootstrap function. Not bootstrap function, jQuery function. Remove class. Basically, this is the name. Remove class. Dynamically remove it. Give it a class name. It will remove it. So these two things happening when you load. Remove class is a built-in, comes with jQuery, just like these guys. And when you put a dot, what you're doing is you're doing a chaining. You can add another dot here, and then you can say hello HTML. Instead of this, you write something there. You can do a lot of functions chaining. But let's do this check if it does remove the class. So if I look at this now on my this guy, let me see if I have this class. Okay, then inspect it. So let's inspect it. I hope you can see error class here. Can you?
Yes.
So this should be removed. That's why we use jQuery. If I refresh now, can you see that now anymore? It's gone. And see, the red color has been gone. Go ahead and try these two lines. I'll wait. Is it visible, my screen? Big enough? I can make it bigger.
It's okay.
Yeah, it works.
This works. Okay, let's try everybody and do this. If you fix these two problems, what is the focus? But remember, we are doing this in onReady functions when your document loads. So you can do this kind of housekeeping. I call them housekeeping. It's a trendy thing for me. I usually call them housekeeping. Some people call them housekeeping. It's just a tidying up, housekeeping, thinking ahead. Maybe you find them later on. You can even add them later. You don't have to start doing with this. You can focus on the main function, then come back, add those housekeeping later. Or you can, if you have enough experience with application, you would do that before. So let's remove this anomaly. I've done that, and let me know if you guys is working, guys.
Yes.
Now let's go ahead and what time it is? Yes. Do you want a break now? Will you come back? Let's go for a break, and then do the key up functions. Okay, we come back at 1/2 past. Is that okay, guys?
Yes.